Have you ever felt like you didn't fit in, didn't belong, or maybe were just too much for some? Girl, we get it. This is Women Around the Well with Jenna, a weekly podcast where women of all ages and stages share their stories to inspire, educate, and empower one another. From motherhood and marriage to health, wellness, and faith, we're talking all the things. The messy, the meaningful, and the moments that shape us. Because life is unpredictable. Faith is a journey. And let's be honest, some days you just need Jesus, good friends, and a reminder that you're not alone.
Hey, friend. Welcome back to Women Around the Well, where we gather to be seen, known, and loved. This is where we sip on grace, serve up truth, and let go of the pressure to have it all together. If this is your first time here, welcome. You're in good company. And if you're a regular at this little well of ours, go ahead and scoot closer because I've got a story for you today. One that's a little raw, a little real, and a whole lot rooted in the goodness of God, even in the grit at the bottom of the pit. Today's episode is called Provision in the Pause, when blessings don't come packaged like you thought they would. It's about what happens when the budget is busted, the stress is sky high, and the only thing you have more of than bills are questions. You ready to go there with me? Let's do it. It was December 2018. It's kind of cold that bites through your bones and settles into your spirit, especially down here in South Florida. If you're a Floridian, you know what I'm talking about. We don't have many cold weather days, but when we do, you can feel it in your bones. Well, our checking account balance had $2.75 in it. You heard that right. Not 200, not 27, just shy of $3 to our name. And not a penny of it was extra. I still remember opening the banking app like I was flipping open a bad report card. My stomach dropped, my eyes filled, and I thought, Lord, are you still here? Did you forget about us? Because the bills weren't just overdue, they were drowning us. Medical debt was stacking from autoimmune issues I couldn't even pronounce, let alone afford to treat. Our credit cards were curled up in a fetal position. They were maxed out and over it. And our marriage, in all transparency, the weight of all of it was so real and heavy. Stress was a silent roommate, sleeping in our bed, sitting at our table, and stealing every ounce of peace that we had left. Kenny, my hardworking, faithful, exhausted husband, was delivering mail full-time, chasing every extra hour that was available, and even looking into second jobs just to help us stay afloat. I could see it in his eyes, the fatigue, the frustration, the silent prayer he was probably too tired to say out loud. And then God, isn't that always the turning point? It was right before Christmas, and Kenny walked in the front door with his hands wide open. He gave me a $100 bill. People gave me Christmas tips today, he said. Over $100. Now, to someone else, that might not sound like much, but when you've been staring at a $2.75 bank balance, that $100 feels like heaven cracked open and it rained down kindness. It wasn't just money. It was mercy. It was the reminder that God sees, God knows, and God shows up right on time, even if it feels like it's the last minute. Remember, he's never early. He's never late. He's always just on time. So there we were, blessed with a little unexpected breathing room. And Kenny, the sweet man that he is, looked at me and said, wait, what did you want for Christmas? And y'all, I didn't want a purse or perfume. I didn't want candles or cozy socks, even though I love both. Lord knows I do love my fuzzy socks. What I wanted was hope. What I needed was health. There's this little company out there. It's a health and wellness company that I've been watching for a while. You know the type. The kind of company that makes people roll their eyes or quietly unfollow you over on Facebook if you even think about sharing a link. But something in me kept circling back. I had prayed. I had researched. I had asked God, is this the thing? Could it be? And I kept hearing this quiet whisper, just trust me. So I looked at Kenny and said, I know exactly what I want for Christmas. He paused and nodded. Okay. And he handed me that Christmas tip. Now listen, this was not a business move. It wasn't a boss babe moment. It was a survival step. I didn't jump in thinking I'd build a business. I jumped in because I wanted to feel like myself again. I wanted energy, gut health, and a sliver of control in a life that felt like it was just unraveling. I started on the products like my life depended on it because, quite honestly, it did. Weeks passed and then months, and my body actually began to shift. My energy came back, my brain fog lifted, the bloat eased, and the spiral slowed. People started noticing, and I would ask questions like, you look different. What are you doing? What's going on? You didn't wear that wig to church the other day. Some even joined me. Some didn't. Some whispered, is this one of those things? And some just stayed silent, watching and waiting to see if I'd sink or swim. But I stayed faithful, not perfect, not pressure-filled, just faithful. And now here's the wild part. That $2.75 season, it wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The launching pad, the pruning ground, the pause that prepared us for so much more. Today, we're debt-free. Medical bills, all been paid. Kenny never even had to get a second job. We've got margin, ministry, and a mission. And me, by the grace of God, I get to run an incredible business worldwide, not built on hype, but on healing, not built on pressure, but on purpose. And the biggest blessing of all, I get to give. I get to pour out. I get to show up for you. But I wonder, what if I had let fear win? What if I had said, it's too risky? What if I'd let pride or skepticism keep me from obeying that little nudge? I don't even want to imagine. So here's what I want you to hear today. Don't ignore the nudge. Don't despise small beginnings. And don't believe the lie that your current lack disqualifies you from future abundance. Sometimes what feels like a breakdown is actually a breakthrough in disguise. And sometimes that scary yes leads to the sweetest of surrenders. And you might be in your $2.75 season right now. You might be feeling stretched, stuck, or girl, straight up done. But I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. God is still writing, still weaving, still working miracles in the margins. And the miracle that you're praying for, it might come wrapped in a yes you're scared to give. So don't count yourself out. Lean in, pray bold, say yes, even if your knees are knocking. And if you need someone to talk to, pray with, or just remind you, you're not crazy for believing God has more for you. Girl, I'm your person. Send the DM, start the convo. Let's keep the fire going. Keep showing up, keep staying soft. And remember, God is not done with your story yet. He's just getting started.
That's it for today's episode of Women Around the Well. I hope you found encouragement, inspiration, and a reminder that you're never alone on this journey. Want to dive deeper? Visit womenaroundthewell.com for additional resources, guest details, episode recaps, replays, and exclusive freebies to support you in faith, wellness, and life. And if this episode spoke to you, feel free to share it with a friend and leave a review. It helps more women find their place around the well. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep leaning into grace. We'll see you soon.